I was putting in the
I need better company between my own thoughts and me. I sing, but something took my melody. And maybe it's just like my mama said. Maybe the monsters aren't under the bed. Maybe they're up there inside of my head instead. And cut the lights, close the blinds and say goodnight, goodnight. Nothing rhymes in my mind, no lullaby, bye-bye. I'm the black sheep, no one's counting, Lord. When I fall asleep, all my dreams are good. All my life, had a fight, no lullaby, bye-bye. Love is so easy to spell, but I can't explain it well. It's like heaven till it's hell, oh well. Just like my mama said, maybe the monsters aren't under the bed. Maybe they're up there inside of my head instead. Cut the lights, close the blinds and say goodnight, goodnight. Nothing rhymes in my mind, no lullaby, bye-bye. I'm the black sheep, no one's counting, Lord. When I fall asleep, all my dreams are good. All my life I fight, no just like my mom said. Maybe the monsters aren't under the bed. Maybe they're up there inside of my head instead. And cut the lights, close the blinds and say goodnight, goodnight. Nothing rhymes in my mind, no lullaby, bye-bye. I'm the black sheep, no one's counting, Lord. When I fall asleep, all my dreams are good. All my life I fight, no
Can you feel it? The fire in your soul, leaping at the chance for love. Can you feel it? Haunting your senses, letting all your feelings go. But I can feel it rushing through my veins. Your love's the only drug I know. But we've been playing the hand now we're dead, so we can light it up. I know that we can make it through the night, but I can feel it for you inside. So there won't be nothing tonight.
What's good, you lovely people? Welcome back to the Nemesis Gaming League, and for the final match of the night, we're going all the way down to the Novice League to bring you, in my opinion, an absolute banger. My two former teammates going head to head, and it's going to be an absolute banger of a matchup. I am here joined by Penning. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. Happy to be here to see some novice action as we get some season 7 champions going at it. One's gonna sadly go home, and another gonna make a playoff run to hopefully go back to back. I look forward to see it as we got the number 8 seed Aurora versus the number 1 seed Wisps. We got Vita for the Wisps, your former teammate, going against Rooney the mech head. I look forward to see what we got here.
It's going to be an absolute blast. And you have Aurora just barely squeaking by in the play-ins, beating Ignite in that play-in match. A very good game by itself, but Aurora just sneaking away. But now they have to take on a tough task in the Wisps, who had the best record in the regular season and are the first seed going in. And I think the Wisps are the team to beat in the playoffs here, Penn.
Absolutely. As we saw earlier from the Kiwis, who were number 1 power rankings but second seed, we see the number 2 seed or number 2 power rank team. That's the first seed, the Wisps, look to take on this challenge. Hopefully, they don't go into a deep series as the Kiwis did, but they're surely dominant as they're all over the stat sheet. As Dre is second in score per game, first in assists, and Sage and Vita both on the board in shots, assists, and goals. So they're going to be all over this field. I know all of them have the ability. They can be mechanical. They can just play perfect as at times, and they're such a threatening team. So I look forward to see what they can show us here.
Yeah, both teams are very threatening, and right when we're about to get right into this, I'm just gonna run down the rosters real quick. Aurora, you have Rooney, Mr. Marino, and Drizzard, and for the Wisps, you have Dre, Vita, and of course Sage going in for the Wisps. A very good caster in Sage. I'm actually excited. I have a lot of friends in both these matchups, so I'm really hoping I don't ruin any friendships after this cast, and I hope everybody will forgive me. But as everybody is, or it should be in the lobby, who do you have taking this series, and who do you have taking this game number 1 here, Pen?
Well, I'm going to predict the Wisps here, and hopefully I can get my prediction right this time. I'm going to predict a 4-1 series win for the Wisps here, as I like Aurora. I like some of the players they have, but I don't think they can compete as they struggled there in the play-ins. I believe they were in the upper bracket of the play-in, and they went down to that last game. So, as Rooney scores right off the rip, says, "Don't doubt me, I'm going to open this scoring up quick."
Mr. Marino off the back wall over to Rooney, and bang, bang. I'm very familiar with this matchup, and what I've actually formulated is I think this matchup comes in part to my two teammates, Rooney and Vita, and Mr. Marino gonna put it bottom left, a 2-0 game.
Oh my goodness. Sage just completely misses the ball off the kickoff. Vita just cheated up too far to make a touch, and Marino makes him pay. Marino, I believe, at least during the draft, and he still might be, is the lowest novice available, and he's started most of this season for Aurora, so he's just been there to not carry Aurora, but he's been there through the thick and thin as he gives his team the 2-0 advantage with 4:30 left in this game 1.
Yeah, it's looking pretty, not too dire for the Wisps as they still have time, but it's looking pretty dangerous for them. And as I was saying earlier, I think this matchup just comes down to whether or not Rooney and Vita on both sides of the pitch can perform. I feel like they're factors, and they shift around a lot, their play styles and how they play, so it depends on how well they're playing. As I digress, we have Drizzard gonna take it to the back wall. He has some time, can't do much with it, as Vita and Sage gonna work together to get that ball out. Rooney gonna 50 with Sage. For Mr. Marino almost coming in with the 50 of his own. Vita over to Drizzard. Dre has a pretty good clear opportunity. He's going to take it. Vita up for the redirect. Can he get it? He does. Off to the backboard. Mr. Marino going to take his touch. Down to Sage. Over to the sidewall. The ball just floating in Aurora's end at this point. Oh, here's an opening. Vita's going to take that opening, just slicing it through for a 2-1 game.
Slicing and dicing as he seemed to make an impossible angle work as he just gets it around Drizzard. Luckily enough, he was able to get it right around the post as he brings his team back. Vita, he could definitely be argued to be one of the best novices in the lobby, or in Novice in general, only being 1241. What a value pick. You could argue that anyone on this Wisps team could be the best player in Novice. As I said, Dre, first in assist, second in score per game. Sage is definitely up there as well with stats. And Vita is he's insane. He can pop off with mechanics, and he can just dominate a game himself given the opportunity. But Rooney, another one who could be top novice. He was last season, at least in the playoffs. So a lot of potential to see some crazy things from either of these teams, but the Wisps just so dangerous as a trio.
It's kind of crazy what we're seeing in the Novice League. Of course, last season you had Rooney being the absolute mech head that he was, and this season, oh my goodness, Vita gonna tie it up 2-2.
Oh my god, just as I said earlier, Vita can take over, but what a dime from Dre, and Vita just puts it right over. He's leaving them speechless as they just drop their controller. Like, what do you do to that? Like, at some point you just gotta say, like, I can't save that, as Aurora just watches their 2-0 lead disappear.
Yeah, very unfortunate for Aurora. Just watching that lead disappear. And matchup that I'm looking for is Rooney and Dre. Rooney being last season's very mechanical novice player. And this season we have one in Dre. So very interesting to see how they stack up, as Rooney, the man in question, going to give it over to Vita. Vita has some time. Going to backflip into Mr. Marino. Ball getting sent out to the sidewall. Drizzard over to Sage. Sage has some time. Rooney gets the pop out. Dre also has some time, but Drizzard going to give it right back. The ball is just sticking to Aurora's end at this point. Mr. Marino going to try to juke out Sage. He does. Mr. Marino, does he have enough? No, he doesn't. Drizzard going to take a shot, though. He gets it behind Dre, but not enough. Rooney going to try to control this ball. Can't get anything done. Drizzard over to Rooney. Mr. Marino going to try to find a touch. He does. Up into the air. Mr. Marino, again, going to find a touch out wide. The ball just kind of sticking into this Aurora zone here. Is there anything Aurora can do to really just stop Wisps from attacking their front line?
They've seen their opportunity shine on the offensive side, as just unfortunate misses from Aurora. You got to capitalize on those given to them. But when you're on defense, you just got to look for green grass. You got to put it where the blue players aren't. Just look for open space and get a big clear, because they're not going to give you space. They're a fast team. They're going to take control, as Drizzard, low boost, looking to wave dash and put it into an open net, but he just can't make the play, unfortunately for them. But they got to do something to control this Wisp team, as they are too fast and too good to give this opportunity, as Sage buries it.
What a pass coming out. Dre gets one yacht, gets a second one yacht, gets two of them with that juke. Oh my goodness, that was disgusting coming out for Dre. And Sage gonna finish it off there. But a 3-2 game so far. It's honestly looking like a bit of a classic here, Ben.
Absolutely. You saw Aurora take the quick 2-0 lead. Has 3 straight goals from the Wisps answer just off the bar. Dre's up, and Sage makes it 4 with a 2-goal lead. Aurora can't even touch the ball at this point. Wisps are just playing free play. They are just unstoppable here in this game 1.
Sage is probably the most important player on Wisps, just solely based on the fact that he is the backbone of this team. You need a player like Sage to really just hold up your entire team. If he starts cracking, your whole team cracks, and we saw it there. He is not cracking so far into the series, and this Wisps team looks pretty comfortable in this game 1.
Absolutely. They have 10 shots compared to Aurora's 3. If you watched the last series, you saw how much of the shots matter if you can take advantage, as the Wisps have early with 30 seconds left. But Aurora is just looking for a hope and a prayer, as they have an opportunity here, but this Wisps team just taking advantage of everything that Aurora is giving them.
Yeah, and that's a likely story, and a story we might see in the future. 9 seconds left. Can Aurora get a late goal here? I don't think it's possible, as Dre is just going to take it in Aurora's zone, tries to get a flip reset, doesn't really do it, and Wisps are going to take, without a doubt, this game one. And this first game of the series is always so crucial. And most of the matches I've seen today, the team to take game one usually has the upper hand in the series. That wasn't obviously the case for the Phoenix and Dragons game, but it is the case for most teams. If you have that first game, it really sets the tone. It sets the precedent for the games to come, Pen.
Absolutely. I believe the Wisps calling for a timeout. Interesting strategy, Cotton,
Ah,
but um, we'll see how that. I mean, hey, if you get a free dub after a timeout, which we've seen so far, is that's the average you see after a timeout. So maybe they're just trying to get a quick series lead, but maybe Sage was experiencing a little bit of lag, so he's gonna buy himself a little bit more time to get back into this lobby. 60 seconds as we get into the new lobby, but what does that show for the Wisp dominance fighting through Sage's lag?
Honestly, I don't agree with them taking the time out there. Even if Sage is lagging, you still have Dre and Vita to hold it down. And honestly, Sage is doing just fine. Not a whole lot of mistakes coming out of his end. So I would have at least waited for you guys to, drop a game, because then you have that timeout, give Sage that time to come back and really just talk about it there. But, whatever the Wisps want to do, they can do it. But honestly, over the playoff series, I don't want to diss any of the teams, but I'm not seeing a lot of good timeout management. Maybe we should I don't know, teach a course in timeout management here, Ben.
Absolutely. I myself earlier fell victim to that as I did not take a timeout after a 2-0 advantage. My team ended up losing 4-1. After we went down 2-0, we did come back to win the next one without the timeout. But definitely you want to see your teams taking them. But yeah, if you're winning these games, you're gonna want to play it out, see how many you can get before you get caught with the lag. As we have 15 seconds left from this timeout, what do you see from the Wisps as Dre had 4 assists in game one, Gallium?
I think Dre is just going to be an absolute menace. He's not going to necessarily get you with your mechanics all the time, because I think most players in Novice know to look out for him. So they're just going to send a guy out there. But I think the sleeper player is going to be Vita. Vita definitely showed up. He had that amazing redirect going out there, slotting the ball in the back of the net. And honestly, he's going to be dangerous and a very bad man going out there for the Wisps. So just excited to see how this one's going to turn out here as the kickoff going to go underway. Mr. Reno going to win that one over to Vita, the man in question. Vita going to take it off the wall over to Drizzer. Drizzer's going to make a touch, a beautiful touch over to Dre. Oh my gosh, he almost gets a second. Sage going to pop it up. Mr. Moreno going to give a little bit of time. Drizzard over to the wall, over to Vita. Vita blocks it away. He has a second, gives it over to Sage. A beautiful pass. Can't Sage finish? No, I think that was 3 Aurora players who went for that, if I'm not mistaken there, Pen. A little interesting tactics going out at the beginning of game 2.
If you have a player like Rooney as Vita,
That's
no!
gross. Oh,
Vita.
no.
Oh, we were gonna talk about Rooney, but Vita steals the spotlight away from his former teammate last season as he fakes it out, I guess, to score that open net as they take the 1-0 lead. What a dirty play from Vita.
Honestly, I think that all kind of started from the Dre bump. I think he got 2 players with that bump, just kind of clearing the back line, and that's something you love to see. Honestly, I had a little bit of my doubts of the Wisp going into this game, but they are just eliminating these doubts as Dre going to put in his first of the game.
Dre getting another assist on that first goal and getting himself one here to open up the game. We're only 44 seconds in. Wisps are up 2-0 already. Sage, who joined late into this game after the timeout, still experiencing some issues, but his team not seeing any downside from it as Dre and Vita just dominating there. As you were saying earlier, they have the ability to just 2v3 a team, it seems, but you want to see all 3 players playing at their top potential in the playoffs, especially against threatening players like Rooney and Marino, who can be himself a dominant player on the field. But we'll see how it affects them going forward.
Yeah, that's definitely why I didn't want them to take the timeout, because as long as Sage isn't making mistakes, this team has a very good shot of really taking it to Aurora, as we're seeing now. Vita over to Mr. Marino. Mr. Marino is going to get a touch. Can he get a second? The net is just wide open. Dre going to get a beautiful touch. Vita has to make something work for it, not before Rooney gets to it, and a double commit going out. Can Vita find it? No, he can't. His teammate Dre gonna get it out to him. Drizzard gonna try to find a pass. He cannot. Sage over to the opposing team. Mr. Marino gonna take it as he can. The ball just still floating in the Aurora zone. Mr. Marino up with a touch. Can he find a second? Oh, he almost does, as that catch was almost lethal coming out from him. Dre on the wall over to Vita. Vita can't make much of it. Dre just stops the ball. Sage is just being very patient. Sage has some time. Can he?
Advantage. The only difference being the shots that they have scored for the Wisps, but Aurora having those chances, but just putting them wide or just too high. You want to be able to rein in those shots, especially when you're on your back foot, seeing the wrong side of a 2-0 series lead. But they are showing that they can keep up with this Wisp team as long as they finish their opportunities. They've reined in this this game a little bit, as the 2 goals coming really early in the series. But you look to players like Rooney to hopefully just bring some offense to your team. Marino putting a shot on, but it was just too weak. But you need to see something different on offense for this Aurora team, as what they're doing just isn't working out.
No, and I'm seeing, honestly, not even just double commits from Aurora, but I'm seeing a little bit of them from the West. So I think both teams need to clean it up in that area, and I think it's just going to affect Aurora most because they have that disadvantage when it comes to mechanics, in my opinion. Dre over to this side. Rooney has a touch. Can he find another? He doesn't have enough boost. Mr. Marino going to try to dunk out Dre. Can't find it. Dre off the wall. Can't find anything as of yet. Dre, he still has no boost. Can he try to find something? He makes an interesting play try to happen. Doesn't really work out for him. Sage gonna head on back after what just transpired. Vita off the backboard. Can somebody get it? It's Sage! Slam dunk. There goes Sage.
Sage fighting through the lag. He seems to be all right, only at 80 ping right now, but he slams that home after a great play by Vita to just set him up on a dime. Like, they're finishing their shots, proving to be the deciding factor with the shooting percentage, as it seems to be that they have the advantage on stats, as a lot of the Aurora players aren't on the stat sheet in the top 10 in Novice stats, but Wisps all over that as their top players. Looks like not shooting percentage being one of the stats, but I mean, hey, if you're just going to peg the net and just get the goals eventually, you don't need to get the shots as long as you get the numbers, and they get the wins for sure, as all 3 Wisps top of Novice in win percentage here.
Oh, no.
Sage takes over and scores the 4-0 goal.
I think Mr. Marino took a page out of my book and just passed it right to the opposing player, which is Sage, just lying in wait like a lion in the tall grass. Gonna shoot that in every single day of the week. And with 38 seconds left, this is gonna be... I'm not gonna say Aurora really has a chance here, but they could at least put a couple goals up there to, you know, just relieve some momentum. So we'll hope to see them do that as Drizzard. Gonna find the back wall. He finds Dre instead. Sage gonna try to be a little bit mechy here. Let's see if he can do that. Vita off the sidewall, can't find a touch as Mr. Marino steals it right from him. Drizzard off the sidewall, finds Mr. Marino on a potential back pass, but he finds Dre instead. Seems like a common theme these days. Sage off the backboard, finds Vita, but it finds a solid 50 going out. Mr. Marino down to Drizzard. Drizzard finding Dre. Dre over to Vita. Vita can't find the pop-up, and the Wisps taking game 2 pretty handedly. This series so far is looking like it's going to be a wash if Aurora doesn't step up.
And as they get shut out here in this game too, it's hard to see a team with Rooney on it, the Season 7 Finals MVP, being held to 0 goals and only 2 shots. I mean, he had some opportunities that he wasn't credited shots for, but he's not finishing here. And you want to see more from him, as you'd think that he'd be their offensive leader in most categories if they would just enable him. As a former teammate, Gallium, what do you got to do to get Rooney on the board?
Honestly, I think you just have to let him cook. Okay, Rooney's, just imagine this, everybody at home. Rooney's in his little kitchen, right? He has all of his cooking utensils. He has the oven on. You just have to be that cooking assistant that just sits back, lets him cook, and just cleans up the mess. You're a cooking assistant and a garbage man, essentially. And that goes the same for Vita and Dre on the opposing end. You have to let those two cook. And honestly, sneak in a little bit of Drizzard in there, as Drizzard honestly has been a factor for this Aurora team. Really looking for him to step up. Can he step up here? He can't find the shot. Mr. Marino off the sidewall, gonna give it over to Rooney. Rooney with the flip reset. Can he find the double? Yes, he can.
My
Top left corner.
goodness, Rooney.
What a shot.
Oh, he just got that mid boost, and he has all the time in the world. You cannot give him that. That's one thing you could do to get him going. Give him open space and boost as he gets that flip reset and doubles it in top bins to get their first goal in over a game. And hopefully they can run away with this momentum here, as what an amazing goal from Rooney. Not our first time seeing that, and definitely not our last, as they hope to run away with this lead.
Yeah, Rooney just tends to do that when it comes to playoffs. We'll see if it's enough for his team. It's Trey gonna give him the same treatment. Can't find anything. He finds the backboard. Sage up with the ball. Sage gonna try to find a double. Never mind. Vita gonna steal that right from him. Gonna equalize the game.
I mean, Sage with the opportunity, but Vita had the power and the speed. He even uses Sage as leverage to get that shot down. What a play by Vita just to take that from Sage, and what a great opportunity by Sage to just set him up perfectly, even if it's not what he intended. He handed that spoon right over to Vita, and he let him cook.
Exactly. You just gotta let the people cook sometimes, but you know, it seems to be working out for both teams in this game 3. Can they just execute it further? As Vita, a little bit of a mistouch there. Let's see if Sage can clean it up. He does. Beautiful touch from Sage. Dre over to Mr. Marino. Mr. Marino can't find the touch. Dre again. Yeah, that's a dangerous chance, and Dre is just going to score that any day of the week.
As the pressure seemingly making Aurora crack, they were hemmed into their defensive end, and Dre with just a threatening touch. It was going to go in either way. Marino had to do something, so he did all he could, but it was not enough. As he was already halfway in his net, the ball was showing the color of being halfway through the net, so he couldn't do much, and he gave it all he had. Unfortunately, Dre with just a strong, powerful, and accurate shot, as that man is turning up the heat as he's cooking in Aurora's kitchen.
Exactly, and hold on, here comes Mr. Marino, the veteran, gonna put it to bottom left, and here comes Aurora just screaming right back.
Marino is a clutch player. He was on the Whelps last season, who were second place to your Ignite team. So he is not one to shy away from in these big moments, as he ties it up here, showing like this Aurora team's got it. Like, they're here for a reason. They did win that play-in tournament for the 8th seed. So they have the ability as long as they are given the opportunities. So Marino taking advantage of his opportunities there, hopefully to start a theme here, Gallium.
Yeah, exactly. You just want to start a little bit of some comebackets, if that's a word. It's probably not a word. As Sage almost going to put it in the net. He puts it top bins, does not go. Vita off the sidewall, going to try to find another touch. He can't. Off the side goes again. Driz going to give it down to the end. Rooney gonna take a shot. Vita's gonna save it away, and the ball is now in the midfield. Sage gonna try to find a touch. Never mind, he steals the boost. Vita gonna find a touch out to the midfield. Dre has some time. Let's see what he can do. He gets one. Can he get 2 and 3? Oh, he gets 2, but he can't get 3. Mr. Marino in the net, a reliable defender in these clutch moments. The ball just floating there. Let's see what Rooney can do with it. He can't do much. His Sage is gonna slam it down. Dre over to the back wall. Here comes Sage. He's gonna slot that in every day of the week.
I mean, you're just giving the Wisps too many opportunities. They have 10 shots now, and Aurora only has 4 saves. Luckily, it's only a 3-2 game, but Aurora doing a good job getting in front of that, but they're not doing a good job cleaning up the mess out front. It's good to have those garbage men that you were talking about earlier. You got to clean up in the kitchen, especially out in front of your net when it's most important, as Marino has a shot on, not able to finish. Drizzard with a follow-up, but Rooney finishes a 3-piece as they finally break that Wisp defense and get around that backboard.
Yeah, I think, honestly, Drizzard is just going to need to help out Rooney any way he can. Just start him off fresh. And that was a beautiful pass coming out from Drizzard. Rooney just makes it work, makes it happen. And Aurora's not down and out yet here, Penn.
They're definitely doing a great job keeping up, as they have 8 shots to the Wisps 10, so they are performing really well. As Rooney with a powerful shot saved away by Vita. These teams definitely opening it up offensively, as there's a lot of shots but also a lot of saves, so it's a very back and forth even game, especially after a 4-0 in game 2. In the Wisps' advantage, both teams picking it up, settling into their seats, as we see a tendency there as teams in the playoffs, like, it seems to be opened up early in the series, but the game's surely settling in both teams' favor later in the series.
Yeah, I think teams just, it's stream nerves again, and obviously you have to conserve some stamina if you are going to go to that 7th game or even that 6th game. You're not used to having best of 7 series, so conserving stamina is a part of it, but it's also stream nerves. I mean, if you lose, you're eliminated. So it's a little stressful on all of these teams out there. So it honestly depends on who can put their hard hat on and get to work. And honestly, we're seeing Wisps and Aurora both get to work here as the ball is just floating out in the zone. Vita's going to take it away from Aurora. The ball is now in the air. Let's see what Dre can do. Dre tries to get one. He can't get the second. Almost tries to dunk out. I believe that was Drizzard. Vita up with the ball. Vita gonna give it to Dre, and that is in the opposing net. That is the wrong net, sir.
Oh my gosh, Vita is just too good at scoring goals. After the big 50 from Sage on Rooney, Vita just has the unfortunate touch. You hate to see that, as it's just a little bit too high. You want that opposite corner of your car just to hit the ball so that it goes flying back into the opposite end. But if you don't have enough speed to get up, or even enough boost to get up on the other side of that ball, it unfortunately redirects into your own net. And that has some unfortunate speed, as it caught Dre on the back end, not able to make the save on Vita's own goal, looking to make a second one. Oh my goodness, Gallium.
Dude, in Rooney's kitchen, right? I know you guys are probably tired of me bringing this up. I didn't expect the Wisp to be in there helping out Rooney. That is 2 own goals for them, as, you can't really blame the internet on that, because they were both at good ping. Honestly, don't know what's happening here. 2 Novice moments in a row, but we'll chalk it up to them just intentionally throwing for content. Thanks, fellas. For legal reasons, that is a joke. At Sage, he's going to take it off the backboard, give it over to Vita. Vita has a chance here. Going to try to get it past Rooney. He can't. Tries to get the demo. Dre is up with this. And Sage going to try to pinch it in. They can't. And Aurora's looking pretty primed to take this one. 5-4. The ball is just in Aurora's zone. Can they make something happen? No, they cannot. Aurora going to take this game number 3. If the ball will ever drop, it does. Aurora, they played honestly just as good as Wisps. They didn't exceed expectations. I just think it's the Wisps just really shooting themselves in the foot here.
Absolutely. I mean, the Vita and Rudy connection still in Season 8, proving to be a way to score goals in the Novice League. Unfortunately, they are on separate teams for Vita, but you hate to see that's how you lose your first game in this series. And just 2 in a row to cost your team the game. And, like, that's such an unfortunate way to just lose that game, but the Wisps are confident. They know that they're able to take over this series, and it would be nice to have a timeout, but especially after that, but they don't need it here.
I don't really blame them for not taking the timeout. I mean, you have the advantage going into this game number 4. Whether or not it's a small advantage does not matter, as Aurora really just bounce it back here. I honestly didn't expect them to take another game off a very primed and ready to go Wisps, but it seems that this Wisp team has kind of faltered here, and Aurora's starting to pick up the pace. That's a good sign for all you Aurora fans out there, as Dre just going to try to do it all himself. He cannot find it. Drizzard and Sage going to try to 50 each other out. Doesn't go. Mr. Marino, a dangerous touch out to Drizzard. Drizzard finally gets it. Dre over this side. Can he make even more magic happen? Mr. Marino gets a touch out mid. Sage off the back wall. Off the back wall. Vita gonna take another touch. Tries to get it out to Sage. Sage has an opportunity here, and he will score that every day of the week. What a beautiful shot.
I think I see a set of beds in the Aurora end, because the Wisps have just made themselves at home, as they are just constantly and always in this Aurora end. They have incredible pressure. Like, Aurora can't do much to get a clear, because no matter what they do, it seems there's always a Wisps defender there to counterattack them. Like, no matter what they do, even if they mistouch it, it's not what they were expecting. There is a Wisps player to send it right back, and it's proving to just show the detriment of Aurora's team. Is if they get stuck in their end, it's going to cost them some goals against.
Yeah, and I feel like that's just them not challenging the ball when they need a challenge in their own zone. I mean, I feel like they have the aerial capability to really get in the Wisp's face. I feel like it's just not being implemented as like a strategy. You catch my drift here, Pen. I just feel like, the first man's not going when they need to go, and they're just not getting the blocks out. And when they are, it's just really biting them in the butt as Trey almost gets a shot. But Rooney has a chance here. He's going to take that open net every day of the week, and they're just feeding Rooney goals.
Absolutely. Whenever you get used to that offensive pressure, you get into such a groove that you have faith in your team to just cheat up. As well, the Wisps were caught there, and whenever a ball goes off the corner with such speed and it goes straight out off the post from the angle it hit, it gives a great counterattack opportunity when it goes over the person that's last back, because they're cheating up a little bit too far whenever they got a little bit too comfortable. But the Aurora taking advantage to tie this game up. Oh no! What an own goal. I didn't see who it was, but another unfortunate own goal on stream for this Novice League.
All right, chat, say it with me. Novice moment. That is a novice moment for the record books, people. Very unfortunate. We've seen 3 own goals in this series. I'm not... listen, I was a novice last season. That's not something that's too familiar to me. But hey, both these teams seem to like own goaling, so let's just let them have at it, shall we? As this playoff game commences, we have Drizzard gonna miss his touch, and Sage has a touch over to his teammate. He finds Vita, but Vita can't find the ball. Unfortunate there. Drizzard gonna take it out to Mr. Marino. Mr. Marino over to Vita. Vita has some time. He gets a solid first touch. He's going to just try to dribble it down the field. Gets past Rooney. He almost gets past Mr. Marino, but can't. Sage going to take this one downfield. Oh, it was an open net for a second there, and it's still kind of open. There's only one back. Mr. Marino going to block it right away. Vita off the sidewall. Going to give it over to Dre. Dre has an opportunity, but it fails. The ball is just floating off the backboard. Vita gets there. Oh, no, that ball is just going to float down. Can Dre get a touch on it? Yes, he can. A 3-1 lead for Wisps.
That's another one of those scenarios where you get too comfortable offensively. Even though they weren't even in such a groove, Marino just caught too far inside his own offensive end, and even an unexpected clear, but one that proved costly as it went right over all the defenders and into the open net. It's late. It's 11:30 here on the eastern side. If you woke up early for school, or if you woke up early for work, you're tired here. So you just got to tighten up here and hopefully get in your groove to come back into this game. I mean, you give the Wisps a lead, they might run away with it.
Yeah, as a student, I can't relate to that one. Just waking up early is just not fun, and I feel like most of these players might be students, so I think tiredness also plays a factor, and you're seeing it here. A little bit of slower play, but apparently not for Vita, as he's just going to put it in their mouth.
I believe that's Vita's first shot of the game, funnily enough for him, as he slots it. I mean, he's letting his teammates cook. Dre has 3 and 2 goals off those 3 shots. Sage himself is 1 for 1 for Vita. Aurora only has that 1 shot on net, and that was their lone goal of the game. So you look to put more pressure on this Wisp team. You just got to make them feel pressure in their offensive end, make them sweat a little bit, and hopefully you see a chink in the armor, something to crack this defense of the Wisps as Drizzard finishes it off there.
That's so unfortunate going out for Aurora there. Rooney going to attempt the double touch, but it bounces off of Sage's car, and Drizzard in the back of the net, making this a 4-2 lead for the Wisps still. I'm wondering if Aurora can claw back into this. I feel like they have an opportunity to, but I'm just not seeing the kind of production that I once was.
Aurora only with 3 shots with the 2 goals. At some point, you want to see Rooney just start to get confident and take over. I mean, he got the win last game, so maybe you'd see him open up some more. But Rooney himself with 2 shots only and 1 goal, I say only, but he has the most shots on his team. So like, you got to do something to set up your offense and get in the zone. Whether that's winning a big 50 in the midfield, as Marino did there, to like set yourselves up. But someone's got to be able to follow up on these opportunities, Gallium.
Yeah, I'm really looking for one of these players in Aurora to just uh, really just clean up for their team. And honestly, that player that I'm looking for is Mr. Marino. I feel like he fits that role quite nicely. It's just a matter of whether or not he's playing that role is in question at the moment. As Rooney going to get a pass past Dre, Mr. Marino going to take a shot over to Sage. Sage easily getting that away. Sage again with another touch, going to try to find it. Rooney going to touch it away from him. Dre up the sidewall. Gonna try to find something. He gets it past one, can't get it past another. Vita off the ceiling, gonna take a shot and bumps Rooney instead. Mr. Marino gonna give it over to Dre. 10 seconds now. The Wisps gonna try to hold on here, maybe score another one as Drizzard hits it away. And with that being said, the Wisps have taken game number 4, and they are on match point here, Penn.
The Wisps are just taking over. They're just getting a little bit too comfortable. They gave Aurora their one game, and they're just shutting them down so that they're just not getting enough opportunities to even score enough goals to compete with the Wisps. They had 5 shots for Aurora, and Wisps have 4 goals. So you need to put a little bit more on the net if you want to have a chance here. It's been the story for the past 2 series. Like, just get shots on net and give yourself a chance to score and to compete in this game.
As Aurora gonna take a timeout here, you just wanna, let's just recap what we've seen so far. Because honestly, we've seen some pretty amazing stuff from both teams. More amazing stuff from the Wisps besides the own goals. But honestly, I really just want to see a great game between them. And I think Aurora taking this timeout is a very smart timeout. It's at the right time. You have to just collect yourselves, really talk through what's going through each other's minds, try to, just really try to get a strategy going to defeat this Wisps team, who has seemed honestly pretty unbeatable so far, Penn.
Absolutely. I mean, give yourself these 60 seconds to maybe like talk some stuff through. Rooney was a late season addition to this Aurora squad, so they're not as chiseled as the Wisps, as they weren't a complete team this whole season, but they've been together long enough to understand each other, and it's proven to come to their advantage. But maybe you take this time to say like, hey, if you see me doing this, just like maybe go here, or like, hey, if I'm on the ball and I'm looking helpless, give me some help. But you got to do something to open up your offense and just change it up, because you're just not giving yourselves enough opportunities to win.
Yeah, I feel like that's just the story. You have to really just open up your offense and, open up the offense, but tighten down the defense. It goes both ways. And I feel like at this point, Aurora is doing that, but they're not doing as much of a great job as I would like, as most of their goals have come off of mistakes of the Wisps. So really hoping to see them kind of step up here and fill the shoes of a really good playoff contender that I thought they were going to be after they beat my organization's Ignite. I was really a fan of them going into this playoff game, and just, kind of disappointed about what we're seeing so far. Hopefully they can turn around here, as Dre is going to get a pop shot. Hopefully it goes in, but Sage is going to finish the job right here, right now.
The lone defender in net being Rooney, he was just facing the blue wall coming at him. But luckily, that wall was, well, not luckily, that wall was collapsing on him, and it leads to a goal. I mean, you need to give him some help when there's 3 offensive players against 1. 9 times out of 10, that's going to be a goal, especially with the team as dangerous as the Wisps. Proving, especially in the series, just be so dominant, and they can finish their opportunities. When you give them a 3-on-1, just look forward to the goal explosion.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like they've just really been capitalizing on their chances, like you said. And honestly, it comes with Aurora's defense just not tight enough, just really letting the Wisps do whatever they want. As you see them just kind of getting a little mechy here. That's not a good sign. You don't want them to feel comfortable enough to start really just pulling out all the mechs on you. Is Dre going to hit it off the backboard? Going to give it to Sage. Sage has a flick. He gets one, and that's his bread and butter.
I mean, Dre again, he leads the league in assists. What a great read. And it goes directly off the backboard right onto Sage's car. So for Dre has Hall of Fame dimer. He has something in his blood that just he passes geometry class, and oh my goodness, that man is just putting it on his teammate's car, and especially Sage with a great flick himself, a front flip flick over the last defender. What a just great play from the Wisps. They are feeling confident, and you hate to see that if you're an Aurora fan, because confidence is key in Rocket League, and the Wisps have that in spades.
Yes, they do. And honestly, I feel like confidence is key, especially in the playoffs. You know, you have this best of 7, which allows for more games, and confidence is key. And Rooney, wow, just doing it all himself, an amazing goal.
I mean, that's the Rooney we know and love. He's giving himself a chance to win, cuts the lead in half. Just a big, fast dish going far side. I mean, with such speed, he kept up with the ball that he had just banged himself, and he luckily enough had enough boost to get across the net and get in front of it and to finish it. I mean, he was going fast enough that he didn't lose his flip as Sage, puts it around the last defender. What a goal for the Wisps as they make their lead 2 again.
Yeah, I just think that's the Dre difference guaranteed. You can find it in stores near you. He just puts it, barely sneaks it past one on the backboard and just dishes it honestly down to Sage, who makes an amazing goal. And that's his 3rd goal of the game. So hat trick going out for Sage. Throw your hats onto the field is, you know, good game by Sage, is a good game for this Wisps team, who have really just been relying on him in defense, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, as he is very good key contributor on that defense. And Rooney gonna try to break that defense right now. He tries to get one. Can he get a second? No, he can't. As Sage gonna flick it over one. Tries to get another, but Dre trying to hit a flip reset play. Can't really find anything there. Mr. Marino gonna miss his touch. Drizzard over to the sidewall. Misses Mr. Marino down the field, and the ball is just floating towards that Aurora net. Can Drizzard hit it? Yes, he does. He gets it away from the Aurora net. The ball still in the Aurora zone. Can Drizzard clear it out? No, he can't. Vita gonna make an excellent touch there. Touch it to the side wall. The ball still just in that Aurora zone. Will this ball be cleared out, and will they get a good chance? Time will only tell, as Rooney seems to be the only player in Aurora who's really trying to make an impact in this game here.
Absolutely. Rooney leading his team with shots again as it floats towards his net. Sage with his 4th goal of the game. He is taking over here. He had problems at the beginning of the match, but another pass from Marino. You saw that earlier in the series, I should say, and the the Wisp taking advantage of that is Sage definitely going to take that one as he scores his 4th. That's his first goal that Dre did not assist, but Dre did not want to feel left out as he finishes that one off the kickoff.
Massive from Dre, and I think a little bit of a miscommunication going out there from Aurora. Definitely not something you want to see, you know. The Wisps, they've had a great game so far, and I feel like it's just Aurora just not putting up a good fight. I'm really disappointed in this series. Hopefully they can kind of crawl back here. They have 2 minutes to possibly do it, and the question is, will they have enough pressure on this Wisps net? Only time will tell. The ball just trickling in the Wisp zone, and is that another own goal?
That is our, I believe, 4th own goal of this game, as Dre can't stop putting balls in the net. Sadly, that's his own. I was thinking of something earlier to say for own goals, but it's slipping me at this moment because I didn't think we were going to see another. But holy cow, I mean, you're up in this game, you're up in this series, it's match point, but, dang, you don't want to see that happen. It might kill your momentum and give Aurora a possibility, a breath of air to, cling on to try and come back here.
Honestly, you know, I think the Dre goal might have been intentional, and if it was, I don't think that's a very classy move coming out from Dre. Not something, if I was on Aurora's side of things, I would like to see. I don't want to see the team putting in other goals for you. But if it was accidental, which it kind of looked like it did, and hats off to Dre there for almost giving a good pass going. But Drizzard gonna give it down to Vita. who doesn't find it. Rooney gonna try to find a touch. It's blocked away by Sage. The ball is in the Wisp zone. Dre over to Mr. Marino. Mr. Marino gonna give it out to Vita. Never mind. Sage cuts him. Mr. Marino has boost. He has the ball. Can they find some magic here? He dunks out a teammate and is just gonna find Sage for his 5th goal of the game.
I mean, it's kind of getting boring here. I mean, you hate to see Aurora lay down and die like they are, but that's exactly what they're doing. They just want this game to end. They're not really playing, but the Wisps just crushing them, crushing their souls. And I think at this point, the Wisps are just having fun with it because I think Sage just wants Vita to like have very few points in this game just to be able to laugh at him and be like, "Hey, I carried you with my 5 goals here." So as Drizzard gets one consolation goal, I think not enough time left on the clock. Everyone's trolling here. You hate to see games end like this in the playoffs. I mean, um, it's
Interesting.
everyone. Yeah, it's interesting to be sure. Like there's a lot of intensity, a lot of feelings that go into this, but you got to play for pride at some point and just take something home. Like take something away from the game.
Yeah, interesting stuff. And I just don't think either team is trying anymore. I think it's Aurora just kind of losing all hope from their side. And I think it's Wisps just kind of trolling at this point. Unfortunate. And, honestly, if I was in the Aurora's position, I'd be kind of upset at the Wisps on how they're handling this game. Definitely not a classy move, but hey, I don't know much. I'm just a prospect player. As Mr. Marino going to try to find a touch, drizz it over to the side. Dre over to the wall. Gonna try to find Vita. Vita doesn't have a touch. Dre gonna try to find a touch. Sage getting off the backboard. And as the clock ticks down, the Mr. Marino has left the game, and the Wisps are gonna take this game away and take the series away 7-3 as the ball finally hits the floor. And honestly, the Wisps just looked like they had it this whole time, Penn.
Absolutely. In this game 5, also side note, I had the prediction correct. um, but yeah, they just ran away with this. As Sage had 7 shots, 5 goals, and this game was his. He called game, and like it's such a sour ending to such a great series. But hey, hats off to the Wisps, especially with however many hat tricks we saw. But sadly, in Novice, when teams lose, you're going to see some mauled. But congrats to the Wisps and Aurora. Great effort on a great season. And GG, go next. And hopefully you can come back next season and come back for something more.
Yeah, unfortunate to see Rooney, Mr. Marino, and Drizzard's series end or season end so quickly. I thought honestly they would go a little deeper, but they were running into that roadblock uh, coming in from Wisps, so a little unfortunate there. But one thing I will say is I really liked how the Wisps just came in there and they played well from the jump. Not necessarily at the beginning of game 1, but they heated up towards the end, and that's something that's really crucial, especially for them. They took that early timeout. I think they were just trying to get collected again after getting that win. Because honestly, you look back on that timeout, and honestly, it might not have been a bad decision because they were playing a little rough at the start. But who knows? I honestly think it worked out for them. So glad to see them just take it. And I believe your prediction is correct there, Penn. So congratulations there.
Yeah, 4-1 win for the Wisps. Wisps. At least I didn't say 3 this time, so I got the correct win amount this time. So the Wisps go on to the next round to play the winner of Vandals and Frost. That's gonna be a game to see for sure. I believe they play uh, Wednesday at 9, so tune into that to see who takes on this hot Wisps team. But congrats to the Wisps, and they really got in their groove, and they showed how dominant they can be as this first seed.
Yeah, they did show how dominant they can be, and it doesn't look like a whole lot of teams can stop them. But well, I guess time will tell. As the novice league bracket is getting pretty spicy as of early. You had the Kiwis winning, and now you have the Wisps winning. So honestly, some pretty good novice action going on out there. And I think with that being said and that being done, this will wrap us up for tonight. And I just want to thank you again, Penn, for joining me in the booth. It's always a pleasure.
Absolutely, I was gonna say the same thing. Stole the words right out of my mouth. It's always a pleasure to get into the booth with someone as goaded as you. Thank you for the carry, and I look forward to casting with you again.
I appreciate the compliments, Pen, but you are the true goat, and I'm sure a lot of people will agree. As we finish up this night, it's a pretty good night. It's a pretty good night for Nemesis, and I'm glad you all stuck with us and enjoyed. Feel free to maybe pop into the Nemesis store, grab some merch, donate, subscribe, do all the cool things that you viewers do, and that Rockerman usually says, and I don't really remember. And honestly, just have a great night, guys. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Nemesis will be back on Wednesday. Hope to see you there.